Tomb Raider is a 2013 action-adventure game developed by Crystal Dynamics and published by Square Enix's European branch. It is the 10th main entry and a reboot of the Tomb Raider series, acting as the first installment in the Survivor trilogy that reconstructs the origins of Lara Croft. The game was released for PlayStation 3, Windows, and Xbox 360 on 5th March 2013. Gameplay focuses on survival with exploration when traversing the island and visiting various optional tombs. It is the first game in the main series to have multiplayer and the first game in the series to be published by Square Enix, after the latter's acquisition of Eidos Interactive in 2009. Crystal Dynamics began development of Tomb Raider soon after the release of Tomb Raider Underworld in 2008. Rather than a sequel, the team decided to reboot the series, re-establishing the origins of Lara Croft for the second time, as they did with Tomb Raider Legend. Tomb Raider is set on Yamatai, an island from which Lara, who is untested and not yet the battle-hardened explorer. She is in other titles in the series, must save her friends and escape while being hunted down by a malevolent cult. Camilla Luddington was hired to voice and perform as Lara Croft, replacing Keely Hawes. Tomb Raider received generally favorable reviews, with praise for the graphics, gameplay, Luddington's performance as Lara, and Lara's characterization and development. Although the addition of a multiplayer mode was not well received. The game sold over 14.5 million units worldwide by October 2021, making it the best-selling Tomb Raider title to date. A remastered version, Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, was released for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One in January 2014, and for Windows in April 2024, containing improved graphics, new control features, and downloadable content. A sequel, Rise of the Tomb Raider, was released in November 2015, and a third installment, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, was released in September 2018. Tomb Raider Anniversary is a 2007 action-adventure video game developed by Crystal Dynamics and BuzzMonkey Software and published by Eidos Interactive in 2007 for Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 2, Xbox 360, PlayStation Portable, Wii, and mobile phones. It was later ported to OS X in 2008 and PlayStation 3 in 2011. The 8th overall entry in the Tomb Raider series and second in the Legend trilogy, Anniversary is a remake of the first Tomb Raider game, originally released in 1996, taking place before the events of 2006's Tomb Raider Legend Anniversary. Follows series protagonist Lara Croft's quest for the Scion of Atlantis. Gameplay features Lara navigating linear levels, fighting enemies, and solving puzzles to progress. The Wii version includes console-exclusive motion control elements, and the mobile adaptation features side-scrolling gameplay, emulating earlier mobile Tomb Raider titles. Following the completion of Legend, Crystal Dynamics began developing Anniversary. Using the Legend engine, the team rebuilt the gameplay and levels, and series co-creator Toby Gard expanded the narrative. Composer Troels Brun-Folman remade and added to the music using an orchestral style. A remake of the original Tomb Raider was initially being created by franchise creators Core Design, but the project was cancelled following their sale to Rebellion Developments in 2006. Upon release, Anniversary received generally positive reviews from critics who deemed it a worthy remake of the original game, though some criticism was aimed at the game's graphics and occasional technical issues. The Wii version also divided opinion, with some critics praising the implementation of motion controls, but others faulting them. While it reached high positions in sales charts, the game would become the worst-selling entry in the franchise, selling just 1.3 million copies worldwide. The game was followed by Tomb Raider Underworld 2008, the last in the Legend trilogy that takes place directly after the events of Legend. Rise of the Tomb Raider is a 2015 action-adventure game developed by Crystal Dynamics and published by Microsoft Studios and Square Enix. The game is the 11th main entry in the Tomb Raider series, the sequel to 2013's Tomb Raider, and is the second installment in the Survivor trilogy. Its story follows Lara Croft as she ventures into Siberia in search of the legendary city of Kitezh, while battling the paramilitary organization Trinity, which intends to uncover the city's promise of immortality. Lara must traverse the environment and combat enemies with firearms and stealth as she explores semi-open hubs. In these hubs, she can raid challenge tombs to unlock new rewards, complete side missions, and scavenge for resources which can be used to craft useful materials. Development of Rise of the Tomb Raider closely followed the conclusion of development of the 2013 reboot. Player feedback was considered during development, with the team reducing the number of quick-time events and introducing more puzzles and challenge tombs. The team traveled to several locations in Turkey, including Cappadocia, Istanbul, and Ephesus, to design Kitej. Rhianna Pratchett returned as the game's writer, while Bobby Tahuri replaced Jason Graves as the game's composer. Camilla Luddington returned to provide voice and motion capture work for Lara. Powered by the Foundation engine, the game was also developed by Eidos Montreal and Nixxes Software. Rise of the Tomb Raider was announced at E3 2014 by Microsoft Studios. The game was revealed to be a timed exclusive for Xbox 360 and Xbox One at Gamescom the same year, which sparked criticism from the gaming press and community. It was released for Xbox 360 and Xbox One in November 2015. A Windows version was released in January 2016, and a PlayStation 4 version in October. The game received generally favorable reviews, with praise for its graphics, gameplay, characterization, and abundance of content. But some felt that the game did not take enough risks. The game had sold 11.8 million units worldwide by November 2021. A sequel, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, was released in September 2018. Shadow of the Tomb Raider is a 2018 action-adventure game developed by Eidos Montreal and published by Square, Enix's European subsidiary. The game is the sequel to Rise of the Tomb Raider and is the 12th mainline entry in the Tomb Raider series, as well as the third and final entry of the Survivor trilogy. It was released for PlayStation 4, Windows, and Xbox One in September 2018. Versions for Linux and macOS and Stadia were released in November 2019. After release, the game was expanded upon with downloadable content in both a season pass and as standalone releases. Set 3 years after the events of Rise of the Tomb Raider, its story follows Lara Croft as she ventures through the tropical regions of the Americas to the legendary city Paititi, battling the paramilitary organization Trinity and racing to stop a Mayan apocalypse she has unleashed. Lara must traverse the environment and combat enemies with firearms and stealth as she explores semi-open hubs. In these hubs, she can raid challenge tombs to unlock new rewards, complete side missions, and scavenge for resources which can be used to craft useful materials. Crystal Dynamics would not return as the main developer, but did provide support. Due to them working on Marvel's Avengers, instead Eidos Montreal were chosen to be the lead developer. Development began in 2015 following the completion of Rise of the Tomb Raider, lasting until July 2018. Shadow of the Tomb Raider was designed to conclude Lara's journey begun in the 2013 reboot, with a key theme being descent both through the jungle environment and into her personality. The setting and narrative was based on Mayan and Aztec mythologies, with the team consulting historians to create the architecture and people of Paititi. The gameplay was adjusted based on both fan feedback and the wishes of Eidos Montreal, incorporating swimming and grappling, while increasing difficulty tailoring. Camilla Luddington returned to provide voice and motion capture work for Lara. The game cost an estimated $135 million to develop, making it one of the most expensive games ever made.